Welcome to Michael Rosmer and John Sue's video battlethon inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. Today, we're going to talk about how the new egomaniac are people who say they are consciously aware. I think that is the new version of, corporate crazy masked as spiritual development or spiritual enlightenment. You know, you ever meet those people where they talk about how, you know, all is good, there's nothing missing in the world, all is perfect. But then when you see the smallest little thing that rubs them the wrong way, then they get all pissy and angry and they just lash out. And you realize, like, all the shit that they talk about, they ain't living it. They just talk about it. They're like people who proclaim to be vegetarians, but then when they have a breakdown, they go eat steak, right? And they're always thinking about eating steak, but they're vegetarians, right? All talk, but you can tell the only knowledge that they have is in their head, but it hasn't translated into their life. So you're probably wondering, why the hell am I, pretty much talking trash about those kind of people? The reason why I wanted to create a video about it is because I feel that what they're learning and what they're professing and what they're going out there telling everyone, it's just false, misleading information. They are no more enlightened than the person who doesn't know. They are just, how do we say, they are just ignorant in their own beliefs instead of ignorant in other people's beliefs. And what I mean by ignorant in their own beliefs is this. You have, these people who take these courses and say they're so enlightened and so conscious. They talk down to people. They say, "Oh, I'm not normal. I'm not average. I'm not like the masses." Right? Masses is the new, how do you say, social derogatory word. If you're the masses, that's a shameful thing to be. So they talk trash about the masses and they say, "Oh yeah, we're not like the masses, the sheeple, the people who follow in the crowds." And they call themselves the masters, whatever glorified words they want to call themselves, gurus, masters. But here they go, poo poo all these people who are the masses. And basically, the masses are people who believe in other people's thoughts more than their own. So people who believe more in, say, what their parents said, told them about life, or they believe more in what their religion tells them, or they believe more in what their associations, their social clubs tell them than what they know. They're just lost in other people's thoughts, and their lives are driven by other people's beliefs and not their own. And to compare why I'm saying these so-called, high vibration conscious people are just the other version of the masses but lost in their own thoughts, is because what's the difference if you're believing in other people's lies or you're believing in your own lies? They're both forms of ignorance, right? Because when you believe in only your lies, you don't see other people, you don't acknowledge them. It's all about you. And as you know, in life, life's not all about you, nor is it all about others. Real life is about yourself and others. And in my opinion, people who understand that life is about, yourself and others, those are the real, people who are, I guess, more conscious and more enlightened, on a mental level, because they understand that you and them are just equally important and that you're both necessary parts of life. No one is better or worse than the other, no one is bigger or smaller than the other, but everyone is necessary, and that's true wisdom of life. And when you're able to do things and make things work, right? That's somebody who has, true wisdom, is they know how to take what they have in their life and make it fit into their life and are able to do things with it. People who only are able to use, certain things in certain ways, very smart in certain situations, but absolutely idiots in others. So are you really enlightened? Are you really conscious? I don't think so. And I think that's a misleading thing that a lot of these gurus who teach these courses, they find people who have been victims of their life and they say, hey, I'm the new Messiah. Here, you know, all these people that screwed up your life, now here's the solution to empower yourself, to make yourself the boss, to make yourself, 100% accountable. And they pretty much create these self centered egomaniacs who think they're just so much smarter and more powerful because now they're just lost in their own thoughts. And they're confusing that as real power to, you know, um, change lives. And what that has really done is it enhances their victimhood to say, I'm going to be a victim no more. And then I'm going to believe in this new stuff I'm learning about, loving myself and self-empowerment and being unstoppable. And they just get sold into this fantasy of life, this fantasy of, changing your life. And you see some of these people, they are manic and depressive people, right? Really sad when you find them. And then they go to these courses and get all pumped up and hyped up, and they go off like an extreme manic phase, right? Feeling all good. But then all of a sudden, they feel, once they leave the course, all of that hype drops off in a few days, and then they go back into their depressive state. And then all of a sudden they think, oh man, it felt so good to be in those courses. And then they call the same people back who taught them, the false information. And then there they go again. It's like a gerbil cycle to get their dopamine fix, right? They're taught one-sided, positivity movement. That's why this positivity movement is so huge now. It's because people love to feel good. And if they feel good, it's kind of like a drug, right? You ask yourself, why do junkies stay hooked on drugs? Because it makes them feel good. Same thing with these courses. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on these so-called proclaimed conscious high vibration people posing as enlightened people, but in actuality, they are just as confused as they were when they found these courses, as they are now. They're just only lost in a different lie. Thank you, and that's my 2 cents on personal empowerment and enlightenment. Most courses, anyways.